Hello, my name is Ouma Bernard and this is KCSE Revision English, a channel that is dedicated to discussions that can help candidates perform well in KCSE English. My name is Ouma Bernard. In today's video, we want to go through a full essay based on A Doll's House. This is the final video in a series of videos that have been talking about essays based on set texts. If you've not gone through the previous videos, I would advise you to click on the name of this channel just below this video, KCSE English Revision with Ouma Bernard. If you click on that, you will get all the videos and you can watch them from introduction to the body paragraphs before you end up with this video. But for now, I would want us to read the question and then get to the essay itself. Here is the question that we have been exploring. Self-sacrifice must be rewarded. Basing your illustrations on A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, discuss the truth in this statement. Self-sacrifice must be rewarded. Basing your illustrations on A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, discuss the truth in this statement. Now let us read the essay right from the introduction to the conclusion. Please read with me. In A Doll's House, Nora, Mrs. Lind, Nurse Anne and Niels Krogstad struggled to make life bearable for their family members, and they live to celebrate their heroic deeds. Nora makes a great sacrifice to secure a loan from Krogstad in order to save her husband's life. Torvald Helmer had fallen ill after overworking himself. The doctors advised that they travel south to Italy for better treatment. Nora finds it difficult to raise money for Torvald's treatment abroad, since at that moment she only engaged in needlework, crocheting and embroidery. Her proposal that they take a loan to facilitate the journey faces outright rejection from Torvald. Nora notices that her husband's life is in danger and she must do something. Nora risks by forging her father's signature without his or her husband's consent to secure the loan, because the father is also on his sickbed, and yet the bond that Krogstad had drawn up requires the security of a man. In fact, due to the gravity of the emergency, Nora signs the bond on 2nd October, 3 days after her father's death on 29th September. This discrepancy in dates is a serious sacrifice, as Krogstad later uses it to blackmail her. She reasons that it is better to save a life even if it means going against the law. Nora's reward is that she manages to get the money, which enables them to stay in Italy for a whole year. Yet another reward is that Torvald recovers and comes back well, sound as a bell. Nora is delighted that Torvald has not had an hour's illness since then. Now, from that discussion or from that paragraph, it is very clear the sacrifice that Nora makes of getting the loan from Krogstad without the consent of her husband and without the consent of her father, and her struggle to try to pay back the loan in time. But the reward is also revealed that Torvald finally gets well, sound as a bell, and Nora celebrates that. So we are still talking about the sacrifice and the reward. Those 2 points must come out very clearly. Let us go to the next paragraph. Mrs. Lind goes out of her way to provide for her ailing mother and her 2 younger brothers. She finds herself in a dilemma whether to save her family or follow her love for Krogstad, who was also broke and could not help by then. Her mother is still alive but sick and bedridden. She needs to fight for her mother's life. Her 2 younger brothers look forward to her as the only healthy adult in the family. It is a great sacrifice for her to overlook her love for Niels Krogstad, her boyfriend, to get married to a rich man in order to get provisions. Quite unfortunately, though, the man's business is a precarious one, and when he dies, he leaves Christine Lind with nothing, not even grief to live upon. She has to struggle in a society where it is difficult for a woman to get a well-paying job. She resorts to odd jobs, albeit to make ends meet. First, she opens a small shop, then a small school. As a result of the struggle, she confesses to Nora that the last 3 years have been like one working day without rest. Mrs. Lind thus risks her relationship with Krogstad, who grievously comments that Lind was a heartless woman who kills a man when a more lucrative chance turns up. It is through her persistence and determination that she is able to take care of her mother to the moment of her death. She happily tells Nora that her 2 younger brothers have since become adults and are able to shift for themselves. Her mother also dies, leaving her lonely. She honestly confesses to Krogstad, urging him to give her another opportunity to take care of him and his sons. She finds her reward when Krogstad not only accepts her back, but also comments that this is the happiest moment in his life. Niels Krogstad sacrifices his reputation to provide for his children and gain back Christine Lind's love. He was once accused of an indiscretion, but the matter never came to court. Every way seemed to be closed to him after that. The love of his life, Christine Lind, left him when he could no longer provide for her, and his prospects seemed hopeless. He took the money-lending business, at least to provide for his sons. The society seemed to have judged him harshly, but he confesses to Nora that he does not think he has been one of the worst. His sons are now growing up, and he feels he must do something to gain back his reputation in the town. The post he had in the bank would be like the first step for him, but Nora's husband seems determined to kick him back in the mud. He asks Nora to convince Torvald not to dismiss him, but even with Nora's persuasion, Torvald goes ahead and dismisses him. Krogstad chances on his reward when Christine confesses to him and proposes that they get back together, as she needs something to live for, someone to take care of. He also tells her that when he lost her, it was as if all the solid ground went from under his feet. He refers to himself as a shipwrecked man clinging to a bit of wreckage. He is therefore extremely happy when Lind comes back to his life, and his sons will now have a mother to take care of them. He will also not need the job at the bank, since having been given to Christian, it stands to benefit him more by leaving it to her and probably looking for another one. It is a great sacrifice for Nurse Anne to leave her daughter in the hands of strangers and be Nora's nurse so that she can provide for her daughter. Anne had got into trouble when she got expectant out of wedlock. The man who was responsible for the pregnancy took to his heels to escape the responsibility of raising the child. Anne remains a helpless woman with no one to come to her rescue. She describes herself as a helpless girl who had got into trouble. She describes herself as a helpless girl who had got into trouble. When the opportunity to become Nora's nurse presents itself, she does not look back. She leaves her young daughter in the hands of strangers and takes up the job. Nora herself confesses that old Anne has been like a mother to her. She is so confident that were she to leave her children, Nurse Anne would still take good care of them. By being a good mother to other people's children, Anne has planted a seed in the life of her daughter, who, though away from her mother, has been a beneficiary of her goodness. Nurse Anne's sacrifice is rewarded when she reveals to Nora that her daughter has been communicating to her. She informed her when she was confirmed and when she got married. Nurse Anne therefore enjoys the fruits of her labor as the strangers take good care of her daughter, just as she has taken good care of Nora since she was a baby, and went ahead to take care of Nora's children. In conclusion, selflessness is a virtue that once embraced becomes a great stepping stone for progress. And that is our essay. You realize that in each paragraph, we are supposed to bring out a character who makes self-sacrifice, and then we advance the paragraph by explaining in details how this sacrifice was made, and then at the end we have a clincher sentence that shows how this self-sacrifice was rewarded. Then at the end we must have a concluding paragraph for the whole essay, which should just be 2 to 4 lines. The body paragraphs are quite long, but the introduction and the conclusion are short. Like our conclusion was, let's look at it again. In conclusion, selflessness is a virtue that once embraced becomes a great stepping stone for progress. So the conclusion ties up the whole essay together. I believe that having looked at this essay, it is now possible for you to write your own essay and score all the full marks. And that is going to be our delight. As I have said, my name is Ouma Bernard, and apart from this channel, I also run other online programs for high school students and adults who would like to study the English language, maybe for just proficiency or for exam purposes. The numbers are on the screen. You can call me for homeschooling. I will be delighted to be part of your progress. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please always come back to this channel for more videos like this. I have been your host, Ouma Bernard, and goodbye for now. Thank you for watching.